Vanavond, wij hebben namelijk exclusief hier op de rode bank de moeder van de verdwenen Natalee Holloway, Beth Holloway. When did Peter involve you? When did he call you? When did he say, I'm onto something?
Oh, I guess he called me I guess it was about a week, maybe a week and a half before I came to Amsterdam the second time, and I just can't think of the time frame, but it was about a week before it was released to the public. So.
And did he mention anything specific or not yet? Because, I mean, you have to keep it a bit of secret.
Yeah, no, he didn't, but of course, had been aware of him, obviously, and from how this all began and after your show and everything. So when he called, I didn't even want to ask any questions. He wasn't probably going to answer any, but I didn't ask him a single question. I was just like, when do you want me to be there? Yeah. And I'll do it. So.
Can you take us through how you felt whilst you were watching the tape for the first time? When you were watching the tape for the first time, I mean, we all saw you. I mean, everybody in Holland saw it, and everybody cried along with you. But what was it like, that experience, to see it? I mean, you've had so many theories, and I mean, all of a sudden, it's all there.
Well, I think the hardest part is when you're in a nightmare like this. My prayer, I mean, every night I would pray the same prayer. I wanted an answer. That's all I wanted. I was never about, justice, revenge. I just wanted an answer. I just wanted the truth. I wanted to know what happened. So when you're actually, I've prayed that prayer for 2.5 years, and all of a sudden it's delivered to you. You can't help but, I'll be honest, Robert, it was more, of course it's hard to watch him, and that's difficult, but there's a lot of peace, too, that comes, and a lot of comfort that comes in that, it's like, because it's finally, that nightmare has ended, because it's hell not knowing. And
did the feeling of peace come?
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it does.
Was it an immediate feeling?
Well, it does.
You felt a release.
It does. It does give you a form of peace and comfort, just because you've got to remember when you've been in the dark for so long, and you have nothing, you can't see anything, you can't get anywhere, and then when you finally get it, and that's what you have wanted, that's the only thing I wanted was just an answer. It's just like, golly, it just feels so good. It finally feels free for once.
What exactly did you mean by, look what they've done, look what they've done, look what they've done? That was sort of a gut.
When I say that, it's look what they've done with can you imagine just taking a young adult and making that decision on your own, a 17-year-old or male deciding whether a young woman is alive or not. They have no way to make that determination. So when I'm saying that, Iran does not have any idea if Natalee was alive or not when he disposed of her body. And there's no way that we can go back and recapture that, because Iran has chosen her fate. So Iran to me is a murderer, because he in no way had the ability or expertise to make a determination whether a young adult or whether any adult is alive or not.
So you do see him as the killer of Natalee?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. I see him as responsible absolutely for her fate. Because she died at his hands. That is a fact.
Yeah.
He was with her, and then he himself made the determination to dispose of her body. I would have to go with she was alive, because there's no way we can go back and recapture whether Natalee was alive or not. She could have been in a coma we still believe he slipped her a drug.
You still believe that?
Absolutely. Absolutely. So how can we go back and recapture if Natalee was alive or not when he disposed of her? We can't.
And she was a young girl. She was, she was strong. She was so strong and young, healthy.
Absolutely.
So, you can take quite a lot of, the body can take quite a lot of abuse. Even if you pass out, doesn't necessarily mean that, like he assumed that she's dead.
She could have been in a drug-induced coma. With the seizure, I just don't, I don't think there's any way anyone could go back and make a determination whether she was alive or not.
So there is relief, in a way? Do you feel that there's a sense of closure also?
It's hard for me to use that word, but it does in some way feel as if it's kind of puts it to rest, all the unanswered questions. And I realize there's still things that we're not completely certain of. But I think the big picture is that, yes, we know that Natalee was with him, and of course, he was responsible for her fate. So I think that, whether we get to justice, whether we can, get Iran behind bars or have a trial, I don't know that. I hope that's forthcoming, because
that's still something you're pursuing, right? You want that justice done.
Right. Because I think about, there are a lot of young adults that could come in Iran's path, and what concerns me is I think he's a time bomb, and I think he will strike again.